Hey everyone, we've got some really exciting news to get into today. So rumor has it that Darth Revan will be making a return or an appearance in a live-action Star Wars debut in an upcoming Disney Plus show. Now according to this article, it states that Darth Revan will apparently appear as a hologram in the upcoming series called The Acolyte, which apparently teases a solo project in the same fashion as Ahsoka Tano's one-episode stint in The Mandalorian that doubled as a backdoor pilot. Now, the idea behind this is that usually what they'll do is they'll reference, or a single character will make an appearance or a reference that will eventually be used as a jumping off point to start off a new series or story. Now, for those who don't know who Darth Revan is a character from the Old Republic, and he is an incredible character, and in my opinion, one of my all-time favorite characters from the Old Republic. It's a story about a guy who's sort of balancing between the light side and the dark side of the Force. And if you don't know who he is, I highly recommend that you go check his story out. It's an incredible story that's incredibly rich in depth and lore. So that being said, this is not the only article that talks about the possible return of Darth Revan. Now, according to this article in particular, a guy called Corey Van Dyke, and during a HoloNet Marauder podcast, this particular guy, I'm not entirely familiar with who he is, but according to him, he said that if you're a fan of the Knights of the Old Republic, Darth Revan will be coming back into canon very soon in something Disney Plus related. There's going to be a big push for Sith characters post-Mando. That's going to be Disney's big Disney Plus slate, starting with The Acolyte. Obviously the timeline won't match up, but I know for sure there is concept art out there of Revan in a hologram, which I believe is for Acolyte. It will kind of tease his own series eventually. So this is some really exciting and good news for fans of the Old Republic. And the Old Republic is an incredibly rich and long era of Star Wars that is often, I think, unexplored in the canon universe, but is heavily focused in the Legends side of things. And it is actually highly plausible that the Old Republic in general makes a return into the canon universe. And the reason why I say this is because there's plenty of evidence for a return in the lore of the Old Republic. Now, if you recall watching The Rise of Skywalker, there is in fact a scene where I think Kylo Ren goes to confront the Emperor. And I think this is one of the first few moments in the film. And during his sort of approach to the Emperor, as he's going to the Emperor, he passes by a lot of these ginormous statues of Sith Lords. And, you know, in the movie, you can't really pick out or make out who these Sith Lords are. But they certainly sort of give you a feel of something really old and ancient. And in fact, during the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker, there's an explicit reference to a character in the Old Republic. Now, an excerpt here states that, you know, they talk about sort of statues chiseled on the rock walls around Kylo Ren, and in particular, he recognizes a character by the name of Sadao. Now, if you've played KOTOR or SWTOR, and these are the games done by BioWare, you'll be more than familiar with who Sadao is. Now, Sadao here is actually a reference to a Sith Lord by the name of Naga Sadao. And during the games of, I believe, SWTOR and KOTOR, you do visit the tomb of Naga Sadao, and you have to run a few missions and quests, and through those missions and quests, you get to learn more about the character. More and more frequently, the current stories that we are getting are constantly referencing back to the era of the Old Republic. It's constantly referencing the lore of the Old Republic. And The Rise of Skywalker is not alone in this case. In fact, most recently we had reports or an announcement by Lucasfilm that they would be re-releasing a few legend stories, and among them includes a story about Darth Bane. And Darth Bane is obviously a character that existed during the time of the Old Republic. And on top of this, we also have speculation and rumor that there will be a KOTOR remake, and KOTOR, which is a game that is set explicitly in the Old Republic, just goes to show that there is a sort of turn or consistent reference back to the era of the Old Republic. The High Republic itself has also made a lot of frequent references to the Old Republic and to an ancient time or a older time where the Sith were numerous and the Jedi and the Sith fought wars. Thousands of them fought wars between each other. And I've made a video on this previously, but basically in one of this High Republic stories, it actually makes a direct reference to the Great Sith War. And if you're familiar with the Great Sith War, it sort of features characters such as Exar Kun, and all of this is Old Republic content. These are Old Republic lore. This is some really good news, because what this means, especially for fans of the Old Republic, is that there is what seems to be a turn in attention to this period of Star Wars. And this isn't just, Easter eggs or small references to the Old Republic. These are not just small candies for fans to just enjoy. They clearly have some sort of intent and creative direction behind where they are going with this. Now, if you recall, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you'll be more than familiar with the Clone Wars series. And in the Clone Wars series, there is an episode where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka end up on this mystical planet of Mortis. And the son of Mortis is one of the main antagonists of this particular episode. And in fact, in a deleted scene of this particular episode, the son of Mortis actually meets the Force Ghost, or the dark side Force Ghost of Darth Revan. During this particular episode, he consults with Revan on what to do, and he sort of gains his advice on what to do next. But this was a deleted scene in the Clone Wars series, and the only reason why it was deleted is because George Lucas himself wasn't very happy with the idea of the Sith having or being able to present themselves in Force Ghosts. For George Lucas, this was more of a light side ability. It wasn't something that the dark side should be able to attain. And so that's probably one of the reasons why this scene was cut. But what this scene really shows is that the creative team in Lucasfilm clearly have a desire and creative drive to go and explore the era of the Old Republic. And the Old Republic has a very, very strong fan base. It has one of the most hardcore sub-fan bases within the Star Wars fandom. It's an era that has not just only survived all these years, but it has continuously thrived for many, many years. I'm sure Lucasfilm is more than aware that the Old Republic is a era that is subject to a lot of interest and great interest to Star Wars fans in general. And obviously they have a second question in mind, which is that, what happens after the Mandalorian story is over? Once the story of Din Djarin ends and we finally understand what happens to Thrawn and Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine in the live-action Disney show. Where does Star Wars fit on the Disney Plus platform? What fills in for the Disney Plus story? And the answer here is, it seems to be that the answer here is that we will get an exploration, or the Old Republic will come to replace and fill in for those, project slots or content slots on Disney Plus itself. And now the question becomes, how long will it be in the future before we get to see the Old Republic come on screen? Because I think at this point, it's more or less confirmed that the Old Republic will be making a return in some shape or form. I don't think there's any real doubt behind this. I think the guys over at Lucasfilm have set up so much effort behind these references and so on that to do nothing with all these at the end of the day, I think will be a great disappointment to not only just the fans, but I'm sure to the creative team in Lucasfilm as well. So the question is, how long will it be in the future before we get to see the Old Republic in live action? And I predict that this is going to be years before we get to see anything of the sort. We still have to get through a whole bunch of stories with The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and the Ahsoka stories, that it'll be many years before we actually get to explore the Old Republic on the live action scene. The Old Republic is most definitely making a return, and Revan in particular, I think it's very likely that we will get to see Revan himself, because Revan is pretty much the pinnacle story of the Old Republic. It's the central story that the entire lore of the Old Republic is built around. And so if you want to explore the era of the Old Republic, you kind of have to explore the era of Revan itself. So that's all for today. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think we'll get to see Revan on the live action scene? Do you think that the Old Republic will be explored in the future? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, be sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed content like this, and I will see you in the next video. I am the Lost Acolyte.
And I have spoken.